drug users, drug abusers, illegal miners, white-collar criminals, and so many more have received the presidential pardon, which begs the question, does crime truly have a punishment, or does crime just pay and that is it? These are questionable moves or pardons that the president has undertaken or signed off during last week, which Nigerians have been begging a lot of questions or asking a lot of questions online about. And then moving to the Ministry of Works, where Engineer Dave Umahi went to personally inspect a road construction, an engineer doing his engineering work, not just as a minister. And finally, from me, the Minister of Finance allegedly suffered a stroke. The story goes that he was flown abroad, but it was debunked saying he is sick, yes, but he is still in Nigeria and recuperating in his home.
On this side, we have former Senator Dino Milai pushing for the scrap of the NDLEA. And we have seen where civil servants washing toilets following the FCT worker strike. And lastly from me, we have special advisor to the president on policy communication, Daniel Bwala, who made a very shocking statement saying Nigeria is safer under this present administration.
Over here, it's the battle of the loans. Former Governor Autumn versus present Governor Hyacinth Alia battle over who owed more under the Benue State administration. And then we're moving over to the EFCC, where the EFCC arrests the former NSITF boss over ₦1 billion alleged fraud. And lastly, our father, your father, first son, our father's first son, celebrates his 40th birthday. TINUBU celebrates his 40th birthday, and you'll never guess what he decides to share for Nigerians. Guess what?
The word of God.
Yeah, I guess he gets right. He's sharing Bibles to each and every one of us. I hope you get yours. My name is Barry to the World.
I'm KB.
And I'm Abbas Muhammad. Welcome to the morning break. Starting with our first story, where civil servants now purchase brooms, mops in their vehicles or public transport going to work and going into the bathroom or toilet to wash it, comes along with the FCT workers going for strike. The details of the story says that they have actually not been paid for about 8 months plus, and a lot of them have actually been retracting from their duty posts 3 weeks prior to now, which prompted the civil servants to begin washing their toilets. And the story is really funny, sad as it may be, but it is funny, waking up in the morning, dressing up for work, wearing your suit, only to get to the workplace, and then the first thing you're doing is rolling up your sleeves and going to the toilet to wash it just to make sure it's clean. Reports shows that the toilets have actually been overflowing, dirty, people have been, urinating and not flushing, disgusting as it is, and, refuse dumps have been overfilled, which makes the environment, the work environment, very uncomfortable. The complaint comes as the workers actually have not been paid, like I mentioned, for about 8 months, which you would think that their salaries are actually enormous or something, but no, their salaries are actually a measly 20,000 naira below the minimum wage, and they haven't been paid for 8 months, which even is surprising that they have worked for all this period of time before embarking on this strike, because they actually started retracting 3 weeks before now, and they went full on strike, which is leaving civil servants now washing toilets. But in KB, the question now is, what really is there's a budget, obviously, that goes into the salaries of these workers. About 2.7 billion is being, about 7.3 billion is budgeted for environmental sanitation and public safety in the 2025 fiscal year. So now, between January and to the month of October, are they telling us that this 7.3 billion naira is not enough to cater for 20,000 naira salaries for these workers that will make civil servants leave their work, because instead of probably filing reports, going through documents, they are now washing toilets?
So good morning. Like I said, it's very shameful for us to be seeing something like this in 2025. Honestly, it's the bare minimum. You are not even paying them the minimum wage, and where is the money? We have it budgeted inside the budget, then where is it going to? These are questions we should ask. And we talk about, this is a country where just weeks ago our president went to another country and said there's no corruption, Nigeria is corruption free, then is this not corruption? Where are the funds that were allocated to these people? How can you employ somebody and not pay him for 9 months? That's, I think, to me, that's wickedness.
You think?
Honestly, it's wickedness. Because how do you expect him to live? This is somebody that have bills to pay. These are people that have feeding. They must feed. They are not drinking engine oil. Even if you are drinking engine oil, you have to buy. Even if you are using engine oil, you have to buy the engine oil. They have to pay for accommodation. They have to pay for transport. Yet you are not paying them for 9 good months. Then what do you expect them to do? Well, my problem is, where is the money? They should track, okay, is it that the government did not release the funds? Then the government should come and defend themselves. Okay, we released the funds. Then where is it? Or is it that the government did not release the funds? Then the ministry, the whole ministry should say, okay, these funds did not get to us. Then we'll know who to put our blames on. But you cannot employ people and keep them starving for over 8 months. Honestly, it's unacceptable at this point.
Mohammed, I just want to ask a question. Yes? Let's say you have a gateman, right? And your father is not around. He hasn't paid him salary. And you're sufficient as a person, right? So your father hasn't paid your gateman salary. He has traveled, like, indefinitely. You don't know when your father is coming back. And you see the plight of this particular gateman, and you see that he hasn't been paid. What would you do?
If I'm capable of paying, then I'll pay.
The FCTA workers knew that, the FCTA workers and civil servants knew that these FCTA workers had not been paid. One, this is what I would have done. Either I escalate it to my father, since that he's not around. So I said to my father, okay, please, do you remember there's this? Or I'll find a way to mitigate, but I'll ensure that these people are sorted out. So now, you civil servants, how are you comfortable? Because you come out and you go on strike, say, oh, they have not paid this one, you've not paid. A human being like you has worked 8 months without a salary, and you did not seek to, speak on these people's behalf. You have not done anything. You kept quiet while all of this was going on. For me, I just feel that it's just unthinkable. It does not make any sense. It really does not make sense. Why wouldn't they have spoken on behalf of these people? Okay, these people are a minute set of people. Their voices may not be heard. Let's speak on their behalf. Maybe just if they are pushing
Maybe
for
we're
this,
in a
we'll
more
just
better
chip them.
position
Do you
to speak up
understand?
than them.
And chip in this in their favor. For 8 months, the first month went by, the second month went by, the third month went by, the fourth went up to 8 months, and nothing was done. They deserve to wash those toilets. They deserve to scrub the floors. That is apart from the government's work. Now we move over to the government. A laborer is worthy of his wages. How do you allow someone work 8 months without pay?
That's why
you said you think it's wickedness. That is wickedness. Let's not sugarcoat it. It's not I think. That is wickedness. Have this House of Assembly or Senate, or have you ever heard that they have not been paid salaries? For a month.
It's impossible.
Took place of 8 months. Like we said this morning when we were discussing the stories, they have been so out of touch with the feelings of the people. How do you stay 8 months salary with it that inflated economy?
How do you expect them to survive? Yeah, these are the issues that pushes people into crime.
We are complaining that there is so much crime. Why would they give in to crime?
This
is sad. This is really sad.
Actually, it's very disheartening to see why. That's why I always ask. I keep asking the question: where is the money? Is it that somebody stole the money? Is it that this money were not released? Let them know, because we know who to push our blame on. Because now, if this money, if federal government have released the money, then they say, okay, then we'll blame the people that are supposed to channel the money. If the federal government did not release the money, then we'll know who are going to blame the government. But you cannot just keep quiet and leave us in between, dangling in the air, just in our own thoughts. Honestly, it's unacceptable for you to keep people. They have bills, they have children, they are going to feed. They have bills to pay. Honestly, it's unacceptable. We need to do better.
You know, amidst all this chaos, the SSA on public communications with the FCT minister has yet to comment on the situation on ground. And, you know, like KB mentioned, these are people who have families, people who have rents to pay, bills to pay, food to eat, and clothes to pay for, and hospital bills to probably settle. And yet they have gone 8 months without pay. This is coming, you know, amongst other strikes that are going on in the country, especially, you know, like the ASU that has gone for a 2 weeks indefinite, 2 weeks warning strike before they go indefinite. The same questions are, or the same problems are still being tabled. The same things are being tabled between both parties. It's all about the payments. You know, if these people were going on strike for an increase in salary, it would have been a different case, although they do deserve it, because getting paid not up to 50% or 40% of the minimum wage is bizarre.
The federal government said
it's very bizarre. And then not just not being paid, not being paid the minimum wage, you're underpaid. And even the underpayment, you're not being paid.
You're not even
Exactly. So
it.
it is that you know, bizarre to see. So we do hope that there will be, you know, settlements, you know, there will be a change and there will be an increase, not just in their salary, but then they should be paid in arrears, and they should be compensated for working under those conditions, because it is not easy for someone. Yeah, they were working under passion, because it's only passion that will make someone to not be paid and still be coming to work, a work that is considered, you know,
at some point,
very
passion,
petty.
but at some point, passion is not enough.
Exactly.
You going to use passion and pay for your hospital bill?
Exactly. You don't pay with passion. So we do hope the FCT minister does answer to this and not, you know, going around accepting station interviews and discussing about his Rolls Royce when the people under him are not being paid. And moving on to our next story, the presidential pardon and clemency. This should or could have been something of Nigerians will rejoice, especially, you know, posthumous pardons that comes, you know, from a president, you know, the likes of Herbert Macaulay, the likes of the Ogonina, you know, which decades later they have been pardoned, their names being cleared. It is a commendable thing that should be getting a presidential pardon, that you have been found worthy and your name is being cleared, your family name or whatever it is being cleared. It should be something to rejoice for. But sadly, in Nigeria, this 2025 presidential pardon came with some very controversial and sad news, especially as the statistics and the full names and details of the people who were pardoned by the president came out. You know, the president didn't just curate these names, you know, the National Council, State Council curated these names along with the Minister of Justice. They found these people worthy, which makes us wonder, what exactly are they finding worthy in these people? Especially as we're seeing the percentage of those convicted for drug-related offenses were made up 40% of the list, sorry. They made up 40% of the list, which was the highest. Then we have illegal mining offenses, which was 34% of the list. We have financial and white-collar crimes, which made up 17% of the list. Violence and capital offenses, 14%. Property hijacking and maritime, 6%. Arms-related offenses, 3%. Human trafficking and exploitation, 2%. And miscellaneous, 2%. And then you wonder, what made these people worthy of a presidential pardon? Remember, this is not a governor pardoning these convicts. No, this is the president, the commander-in-chief of the armed forces. What made them really, really worthy of this presidential pardon? What have they done? What have they achieved? And, you know, like we say, these kind of things shape the minds of those outside. You don't just pardon public figures or people we believe, you know, have political connections for them to get this pardon, especially as we're seeing the likes of Honorable Farouk M. Lawan, the likes of Alinda Saadu, all for bribery, corruption, you know, handling public funds. So are we saying that the EFCC, remember, the EFCC chairman did once mention this year that among the funds that some of these people loot, they don't really get back the full amount. For example, if a honorable minister is being accused or being questioned for about 30 billion naira fraud, they actually don't get up to that 30 billion found. What they get at most is like about 3 billion, 4 billion from the total money. So whatever happens, they'll arrest that person, but then all they could get was 3 billion. It's not like they got the total fund. So even if these people are getting presidential pardon, and they have not actually gotten everything they've stolen from them, so does that mean that, okay, all I'm paying is tax? I'm paying tax on stolen funds. I stole 30 billion, I'm paying 3 billion, serve a few months, a few years in jail, and then you release me and then I live happily ever after. Is that the message that is being sent out there? We have other people too, you know, like the likes of the illegal miners, the drug users and abusers. What makes them worthy of this presidential pardon?
You see, I have
You want to assure us?
No, I don't want to assure you, but I have two serious questions. Is it really worth it? That's my first question. My second question is, are we seeing a political move? Because at this point, I don't know what we are seeing. This is a country whereby our justice system is shaky. There are people who have been awaiting trial for over 5-10 years. They don't know their fate. There are people who are in jail for minor crimes, for crimes that they can be flogged for. They are not pardoned. Yet, people who are getting pardoned are people who are killing deputy governors, people who are killers. They are the people we are releasing back into the society. So, what are we really seeing here? What is happening? What is going on? Because I don't know, why would you be pardoning? Okay, we understand. I don't even know why you are pardoning people that were sentenced to death by the government. People like Mamman Vasta. During military regime, he was killed under a military government. Then are you pardoning? Well, maybe now, not only presidential pardoning, we might be seeing presidential resurrection. Maybe after he pardoned the dead, they might come back. Because I don't know what we are seeing right now. It's I will not say it's, but it's scary. Look at this. Look at the whole. This is somebody. Why are you releasing corrupt people? Does that mean if you catch me in the case of corruption, I'll be freed? At this point, we have to say, okay, not only praying to God that our judicial system are going to do well, we are also going to start praying to God that these criminals are not being pardoned. Because why would somebody like a killer that killed a deputy governor, yet you are integrating him back into the society to come and do what? To come and kill another deputy governor? Or what? Because I don't know what he's doing. Why are you... We know, look at the tenure of... during the presidential regime of late President Muhammadu Buhari. Drug traffickers are killed. These are people that are guilty. Are you integrating them back to the society with all the rumors that have been flying around? If you want to do this, there are people you should work with. There are people that you go to jail and you meet them there for crimes that they should be flogged for. So, at this point, I don't know, maybe they're encouraging people to do crime to be granted pardon. Because that's what it's looking like.
Yeah, looking at the entire story, I wouldn't say for certain that's what within the president's right to grant pardon, establishing like all protocol, because it's not even a Nigerian thing. Around the world, presidential pardons are being given. That being established, that being said, right? The nature of the people, the caliber of people being released back to society, it boggles the average mind. And then we talk about the families of these people, the families of the people that have been wronged by these people. There are people who committed murder, homicide, a lot of things that has happened, a lot of chaos that they have caused to other families, that they have grieved other families, and then they are suddenly allowed to roam free in the society. We even say, we're talking about drug lords. It's the drug lord that they were caught doing. Like, it's the drug trafficking that they were caught doing. We know these drug lords are usually dangerous people. How many lives that has been lost under them? And then suddenly they are granted clemency. They are free to roam around in society. Just in the Buhari administration, we saw terrorists being reintegrated with society. Now we are seeing more grievous offenses, other grievous offenses being, shuffled back into society, and we wonder why crime rate is high. It isn't. It's a simple math. A lot of criminals are there. That is why crime rate is high. A lot of a lot of what do you call it, killers are there. That is why there's a lot of insecurity in the country. It is no big deal. It is no need for dilly-dally. It is plain fact. This is the reason why, and I really do not understand the president's motive or what his criterion was for releasing these people. I do not pass judgment on them. I do not say that they do not deserve this, but explain to Nigerians, explain to the average Nigerians what these people have done to deserve these pardons.
And you see, just an addition to what you said, Chief, look at what happened in the case of Mariam Sanda. That's just to show you how weak our judicial system has been. Somebody who has been sentenced to death for over 5 years, then what are they still doing in this facility? Are they kept because of a day like this? Were they kept because they know a day like this is coming? Or what? Or what are we seeing?
And maybe it's her ghost we're seeing, because she ought to have been.
and to even look at it from another angle, somebody who was sentenced to death, then I think the softest thing you can do for them is to sentence them to something like life in prison, not to directly remove them and free them and integrate them back to the society. Are you reintegrating them to come and kill another person?
Yes, it's
So
like I said,
point,
maybe this is
questions
the
are being
idea of
asked.
youth empowerment. So I really don't know.
Maybe 2027 is coming, so yeah, you know.
Basically, it's just what it's telling us is that the president has the right to pardon people, even if it creates injustice. Because think about the families of those who were murdered. Think about the lives of those which was damaged by those who traffic drugs into the country. Because about 70 people from the 80 people who received full pardon were people with drug-related crimes and drug-related offenses, which were released back into society. So what is the assurance that these people are actually worthy of this? Because what they said was that the Presidential Advisory Committee advised the president, but shouldn't have the president also done his research?
Same way they advised him for that minister that didn't have certificates.
Exactly. And then all the president got was not even a pat on the back or a slap on the wrist. All he got was, I accept your resignation. Thank you for your service. Bye-bye. And that was all he got. And this is what made, former lawmaker Senator Dino Malai coming out to say that TINUBU pardoned 70 drug laws, that at this juncture he should scrap the NDLEA, which is reiterating the point I mentioned earlier, like the likes of the EFCC, or the EFCC, the police force. Even during the former president's, the former president's regime, we had a lot of rehabilitation and pardon for terrorists and bandits. They had a full rehabilitation scheme, and we have beggars on the streets, people without jobs, people with disabilities who never got this opportunity, but bandits are having rehabilitation, having 3 square meal, and even sent back to society as part of us. And this full presidential pardon is now putting these people back to society. They are having their full rights. Yes, the stigma is still on their names, on their image, but they still reserve their right as free citizens. Again, Senator Dimolai mentioned that it has never been seen anywhere where a lot of drug dealers or drug lords were pardoned by the president, even though they were convicted of those crimes. So should these agencies just be scrapped off as they no longer have any use or they no longer have any value? Because they are doing their job, they are doing what their mandate says, but then at the end of the day, few years after, released back to society.
You see, well, I would ask the society to justly answer this question. This is a society where we've seen this drug of NDLD officials killed. Few weeks ago, a few months ago, an officer was killed in the hospital after an operation. This is a society where these drug lords hunt these people, kill them, go after their families.
That one that was
killed.
posted.
Yet, when they are arrested, then you come and tell us you've pardoned them and bring them back to the society. So what is happening? I think I will 100% support what the former senator said. He is right. There is no place in the world where 70 drug lords were pardoned. We're not talking about chicken thieves. So we're not talking about people who go and steal bicycle. We're talking about drug lords, where their actions damage. Then what's the use of the NDLA? At this point, they should just become revenue, maybe they should just merge them with road safety. Let them because they are undermining their work. These are people that put their lives at the line. They put their lives, they put their efforts. At some point, they even put their resources. Yet, this is what you are going to pay them with. After their whole stress, then you come and tell them, okay, I have pardoned this person and this person. So you go and mobilize and go after the officers that arrested him. Is that what you are doing? 70 drug lords?
But at the end of the day, I'm even asking that the president should pardon us, the citizens.
So, he's pardoning everybody.
Tax they come January. I beg, forgive us our tax debts.
Us the living, us that are the living. Since you are pardoning the dead, us to pardon us the
us
living.
when we never do it, we don't know what we have done to our country to deserve this amount of taxing. So please pardon us, Nigerians.
The president needs to understand that this action that he just made a mockery of the whole agency, the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency.
System too.
And the justice system. It's making a mockery of their efforts. Because as a drug dealer, I know at the end of the day, I will be pardoned.
The right connection.
I think you need to review. When you want to pardon, it's acceptable. But you should pardon people who are in jail for minor crimes, for those that are there for crimes they did not even commit. Not people who are found guilty, not drug lords, that you come and free them, not bandits, not killers. You can come and integrate these people with us back to this. I'm afraid before they will come and kill us too. Even if because they know that if they go, they'll still pardon them again. What is really going on? You are making a mockery of your own security agency at this point. Honestly, the president needs to understand this, and he needs to do better than this, and what is happening right now.
And then, again, personally, I feel like we will not put all the blame on the president, but also those who surround him. And part of the points will come from our next story, where the special advisor to the president on policy communication stated on Channels TV that Nigerians are safer under the TINUBU regime, and that there have been a reduction in broad daylight kidnappings, prison breaks, and such incidents that have been occurring in the previous administration. Remember, it is still the same political party that has been ruling us for the last 8 years and now taken over by someone else from the same political party. So again, where did this special advisor to the president on policy communication, Mr. Daniel Bwala, get his information and statistics from? Because yes, we are seeing the troops pushing forward, but then they did not just start pushing forward today. We've seen them pushing forward. We've seen them making progress in previous years during Buhari's regime. And even before Buhari, during the Goodluck Ebele Jonathan's regime, they were making their progress. They were fighting hard and they were rebelling the truth. But for him to come out outrightly and outrageously to say that Nigerians are safer under the Tinubu regime is really, really questionable. Especially as, this just the last month here in the Federal Capital Territory behind, the Aso Villa, the journalist from Arise TV was killed. The same Abuja that were complaining about one chance, where people who, has now become like an anthem in NYSC camps. Whenever you're in camp, they'll tell you that you're in Abuja. Do not follow along. Do not stay out anything after 7 p.m. So much information, it has become a norm. It has become a usual. And he did also mention that there is so much improvement and increase in, security. But at the same time, there's, once or twice or here and there, there's always a case of insecurity and there, which he tagged as it is usual. Nigeria has gotten to that point or to that level whereby we now consider having insecurity here and there as usual. It should not be something we should be considering usual, Mr. Special Advisor on Policy Communication. To come outrightly to say this is very, very bizarre. And, also, not only that on the details, I would have want KB to still add on this because Mr. Daniel Bwala made this point during a Channels TV interview, and he also said that this is considered a controversy because especially online, because we know our reality, we know what we see. He said that there's no longer broad daylight kidnapping, but I beg to differ. People of Lagos will disagree. People of the FCT will disagree. People in Kaduna, people in my state, Katsina, will disagree. People in Kano will disagree. So what exactly do they use to measure this security measure? Again, these people are not really in touch with reality, in my opinion. They are not in touch with reality. They are always in their convoy, in their SUVs, with 3 armored cars in front of them in a bulletproof car, armored cars behind them, moving from point A to point B. You are not taking from point A to point B, you are taking flights from here to there, again with so much security personnel. We cannot afford that security personnel they walk around with. We cannot afford so much security forces to work around. I don't even have a car. So where am I even getting, you know, personal bodyguards or going to the police station to request a personal security? Who am I? Basically, I'm nobody, but they who are somebody because they do not get attacked. But then again, it's not just about them not being attacked. If we remember, lawmakers were also being attacked, where their phones were even seized. But exactly. So it is still getting to them, it's getting to the top. So if that is his idea of you know, being safer under TINUBU's regime, perhaps he should prove it more. You know, the same way Rotimi Amaechi, even though it was, you know, a caricature, it was really funny to see where Rotimi Amaechi went to, you know, travel from Abuja to Kaduna, stopping at the military checkpoints there, commending them for their work. We challenge Mr. Daniel Buala to do same. He should do similar and move from point A to point B.
You see, I quote, the human brain is unique and miraculous. I quote, the human brain is unique and miraculous. It works and functions optically 24 hours a day, 365 days a year. Until you join APC, then it stops working. I did not say this. Daniel Buala said this. So maybe somebody that said he's in the APC now, so probably maybe he said it. Maybe the brain is, you know. So maybe that's where he's getting his own statistics from. He said that. Nigeria is safer. Yes, I understand in the past administration, not this past, we've had bombings. Now we have less bombings. Not that we don't have, we have less. But I dare Mr. Buala to travel with his car from Funtua to Gusauba Road.
No
then
escorts.
Then he's going to let him come back and explain to us. I dare Mr. Buala to travel with his car from Niger to Kaduna through Biningwari by road, no escorts. Then he should come and let him come and tell us what he saw. Honest, but for him to come out and say he's safer, does that mean he's encouraging all this insecurity, telling us this is better than this? We don't want it at all. That's what we said. We don't want you to come and be comparing. Okay, is this not your party? The last administration, is this not your party?
Same.
He's a member of the APC.
Exactly.
So you are all in this together. Are you trying to diminish your own party
family.
member? It's one big family, one big Titanic. All of you are inside.
So where was
your family member? You cannot come and tell us that better. It's all the APC. We're not here for you to compare and tell us that this is better. We don't want insecurity at all. And you are the one that you see. I don't know where like you said, I don't know where you got his statistics from. But this is you that you said this quote. People who brain works until they join this. The way you said it is a mental facility. It's people with mental issue facility. So now you are part of it. So I don't know, maybe his brain is not, you know, functioning for him to get that statistics. So I challenge you to say it's not true, honestly. Again, we have seen series of insecurity, so it's not true. Here, even in the capital.
These and many more controversies always coming from the presidency, which the people consider as a lack or, you know, a downfall, you know, in their activities and, you know, performance from the presidency. Again, still from the presidency, denying the finance minister, Mr. Edun, saying that he suffered. So Sahara reporters made a publication saying that an article was released saying that he suffered a stroke and was flown abroad for medical treatment. But the presidency debunked this claim, saying yes, he is old, yes, he is seriously ill, but he is recuperating in his home. And I did not know that his home was a medical facility or something. And they did mention that if he was, in need of urgent medical care, he would have been flown abroad. And this is, to me, this is very, very inconsiderate, very, very downgrading of Nigerian medical facility, coming from the presidency, saying that if he was seriously ill, they would have flown him abroad. What does that say about the medical facilities down here in our country? We've never heard of Trump or Obama or Bush being flown to India or Egypt saying, okay, he's not feeling well and we're flying him out of the country. We've never heard the UAE king being flown out of their country for medical treatment. We've never heard the Queen of England when she was alive, or we've never heard the present king being flown abroad for medical treatment. But it's only in Nigeria where you see the president, ministers, governors being flown abroad for medical treatment. So this coming from the presidency is very heartbreaking, it's saddening. But then, are we supposed to take their word for it, saying that he is seriously ill, but at the same time, he is recuperating in his home and he has not been flown abroad? Should we just trust their word? Should we take their word for it?
Yeah, that is basically all we can do right now, because they have told us what they want to tell us. And at the end of the day, you know, we are asking, is it the prayer of Nigerians, you know, that is working, that is making him unwell? Because this particular person has been the reason behind the current hardship, so to speak. So is it the swear of Nigerians that is working for him right now, that's actually making him unwell and unfit? And people would say they would wish him good health right now, but I don't know. I don't know if he's going to come back in good health and continue to do what he's doing to the Nigerian people. It's mixed feelings at this point in time, but we just hope that he gets well soon. That's all we can do right now. Just hope.
And them telling us that he's in his home receiving treatment. Shall you let me remember you something. You can take a camel to the river, but you cannot, you know, force it to drink water. You can tell us that one, but you cannot force us to believe that he's in this country receiving treatment. Because at this point, I don't know who is receiving treatment. I'm not even sure we have hospitals that are working. Maybe we have hospitals for fashion, because I don't know. President, the OO1 will go to UK. Vice President will go to everybody. Governor will go. Governor of so states go to. I don't know. Maybe I think at this point you people are purposely sabotaging our healthcare.
And then speaking on that healthcare, it's something that has been said that Nigeria is full of fake things. From our toothpaste, as Leo da Silva talked about this months ago, our toothpaste, our drugs, our drinks, everything is fake right now in Nigeria. Everything is fake. So yeah, we can understand basically why our healthcare system is failing, really, because there's a lot of fake drugs here, and they know very well that there's a lot of fake drugs. They know very well and they cannot afford to be in these hospitals where they are the fake drugs. They don't want to be treated by these fake drugs, but yes, they will not eradicate this.
You know, a funny thing, we have allegedly a minister forging his certificates. How do you expect him to go to a hospital where he might think people are forging medical certificates too? So, you know, he knows they're all one family now. We know each other, so he will run away. Who will stay there? When minister is forging certificate allegedly, then what do you expect? If everybody are living in a country where everybody is forging certificates, do you think they trust them? They trust the doctors enough? They have to, you know, run away. And as you said, fake products. That's where SON come. What's the work of the Standard Organization of Nigeria? Is it everybody will just come and start making their thing and start selling in the markets? Have they gone through this due process? So, but you people need to fix our healthcare center. We don't want anybody running. Everybody, let's stay here, repair our health center. Then we'll stay here together. Let's Putin come to Lagos State Teaching Hospital for his own treatment too. Let's stay here.
You know, fake products, inadequate facilities, underpaid doctors. These and many more are the things that ruin our own medical sector, which is why they always try to avoid that, you know, stigma of saying so public officer that was flown abroad for medical treatment. If we had ours working, we wouldn't have cared where you go to, you know, for medical treatment. If we had ours working, we know that it is up to standard. We wouldn't care. Go wherever you want to and get some medical treatment. But then you know the one here is dilapidated, and we know it's dilapidated. That is why whenever you have been accused of flying outside, you always come out, you know, to defend it. The presidency does it, you know, the governors of different states, ministers have done it. You know, even just last month or 2 months ago, the FCT minister was also accused of having a stroke and being... Such was his response, saying he was not flown abroad and that he was alive and well. But then, all jokes aside, still on, ministries and ministers, Minister Engineer Dave Umahi withdraws Abuja Kefi Road contract from Chinese firm. But this story is different. This one is talking about a little about competence because he went personally to inspect the road. And, from the title of his name, his name is Engineer Dave Umahi. A lot of his pictures are usually, with a, protective headgear helmet that, these construction workers do.
Helmet, too. His helmet.
From what he said, that from the inspection of the road, some of these contractors are not actually working with the government or in partnership with the government. They're just there for their own pocket. And he said the Chinese harbor firm or the Chinese company was not doing what was instructed of them. As an engineer, he gave the details that certain construction was supposed to be made. There was supposed to be a shoulder before the main road was done or finalized. He did give his reasons, and he was there physically. It was not like someone told him, the same way we got a full presidential pardon list from the president because someone told him and whatnot. But he went there himself to inspect the road, and he said they were going to be giving it to local contractors and they will deliver, and that if the Chinese firm is being extorted, which makes them not to perform what they were supposed to do by their contract, but they are being paid, but they are not producing what they are being paid for. Exactly, that's what he said, and then that they'll be shifting the contract to local contractors. But would you say this is commendable, or this is just a political move?
Local contractor, is like they've forgotten the story of Kogiwa, 400 kilometers, able to deliver 3. So I hope it's not the local contractor is not his own contracting company. That's the first question. And this was a man, we saw him measuring with tape saying, okay, this was supposed to be 5 meters, they are putting 2. This was a man that was asked, how much do you spend per kilometer that you come to a budget of over 1 trillion naira? He said, it's unmeasurable, this. Maybe God sent him the manna from heaven. God inspired him with the total amount. But there are questions to this, Barry, like I said. Is this a PR stunt? If it's a PR stunt, then we know that we are all mad.
You are asking if it's not action movie.
Tall.
He wore his helmet
Tall.
now. It is but nice superhero cape.
But to raise our hopes high, if it's not a PR stunt, then why are you putting incompetent people to do that? Then what if he was not there? What of the works that he has not been there? Does that mean all those ones too are not up to the standard? What are we facing here? What is happening in the Ministry of Works? Does that mean everybody there needs to be fired?
Mr. Amaechi to the rescue.
Superhero. Because I don't know.
Chief engineer.
We're seeing. I just hope he's not carrying tape. This was the man that when he went to Milan, he was just waving hands, doing this, doing some kind, things that are miracles, as if he wants to perform miracle. This is the man that now is carrying tape telling us this too. I just hope.
Superhero.
Tosha, it's true. So I hope this is, if it's not a PR stunt, then the whole people under that contract need to come to justice, because they need to come under question, because that work, that means are you giving us something that's not up to the standard? And if it's PR stunts, then all of us are mad. Everybody involved in that thing is at this point is they need to. Well, even if you jail them, they'll pardon them.
Well, personally, I feel just shows that he's truly an engineer. It just shows he's committed, and it just shows.
Is it because Sheyi Makinde challenged him?
To me, it just shows that yes, this is someone who has classmates from the university or wherever it was he studied, and he's able to practice. He's able to practice whatever it is he learned in school under his engineering course.
Okay, right, Chief.
And then to our next story, which for me is a case of what a man can do, a woman can do
better.
Nigerian Social Insurance Trust Fund chairperson, Mrs. Ngozi Olejeme, has been arraigned by the EFCC for over 1 billion naira fraud. But then what is interesting about this story, again, I will reiterate it, to our past story, is that this case actually happened in 2012 when she was the chairperson, and then the case is still, in court.
2012.
It was, viewed in 2017, in 2020, and 2024, and then still now, it's still in court. But then remember we did the presidential pardon story, where it shows that some of these people, after how many years, 4 or 5 years, pardoned. So she has even been free. if she is guilty, she has been free since 2012 until now, which has most likely spent all the money.
Sure.
She might just go for her vacation or
might just
rehabilitation.
But do you know what it means to steal 1 billion
Over
as
a
far
billion.
back as 2012? Do you know the worth of 1 billion in 2012?
It was
Wow.
crazy. It was crazy. So you can imagine how terrible that is. And again, like we mentioned, even if she is convicted, because she pleaded not guilty, if she is guilty and she is convicted, hope we're not just going to see a minor 2-3 years rehabilitation and she comes back to her stolen funds. Because these are people tomorrow we give chieftaincy titles to. We give them social titles saying, okay, these people are wealthy businessmen, businesswomen, they've served the community, they've served the country by holding a public office and whatnot. But then the charge is long, and the EFCC have arraigned her, and the court has, postponed, the hearing till November 17th. Sorry, not November 17th, October 17th, and we hope we'll get you more on that story. And then moving to Benue State, where the past meets the present, where Governor Otom and Governor Alia trade words over Benue's 100 billion naira loan. Barry, would you like to take us on that story?
No. On that story, I'm really short for words. Really, I'm short for words because this person was owing a certain amount, and I think it was he inherited basically. Hyacinth allegedly, he said he inherited over 800 billion in loans. He inherited that in loans. That's what he claimed he did. And then now, over time, while in office, he has accrued over 172 billion, I think, thereabouts, in loans. And I'm wondering, is it the battle of the loans?
They might be competing.
And this is just how many years into his? 2 years. He has managed, we have talked about the federal borrowing.
Like father, like son.
It almost gave me a heart attack. I was like, hey. How do they plan to pay it back?
Oh, maybe Pampe will borrow them, they will pay.
I'm really short for words. This person is borrowing while another person is stealing this money. Are they borrowing to steal these funds? Or are they borrowing? And where is this money going to? Because, okay, certain monies are budgeted for these states. You finish the money that was budgeted for your state, and then you borrowed. The best thing you could think of. No, you didn't call for foreign investment or whatever, your grants and aids from. You didn't ask for that. You decided to borrow. The average Nigerian is carrying a lot of debt on their head. That is why they cannot be moving normally again. That is basically it. You see the average Nigerian, he's angry because he is carrying a lot of debt on his head. And that is his governors, his president has gone and collected on his head. Why would he be angry?
Well,
that is why the sun is unnecessarily hot today.
What party?
Did you see the sun today?
Very hot. What party does Governor Alia belongs to? So maybe the theory of Daniel Bwala might apply here. So, but is this not the same person that weeks ago he was accused of not paying for cars he bought?
Exactly.
Is this not the same person that was accused of withdrawing money and not paying for what was supposed to happen? So I don't know. Maybe they are competing who is more corrupt. I am more corrupt than you.
No, who borrow pass?
Who borrow pass? Because at this point, I don't know. Maybe we are just unlucky with leadership. Because I don't know. Maybe, like I said, like father, like son. Federal government borrow, state government self go do the same.
Maybe let me make a quick, Game of Thrones reference. The leadership seats in Nigeria are not handled by the Lannisters. Perhaps it was the Lannisters. The Lannisters always pay their debts. Perhaps we have been seeing that. But unfortunately, we're having the families of Otom and we're having the family of Alia ruling Benue State, and they are fighting for who has more debt, who inherited more debt.
The debt
maybe
collectors?
at this point, we need to beg Tywin to come into this. Maybe he might do
because what exactly are those funds that they take the loan from? What are these for? Is it for infrastructure? If it's infrastructure, can they show also that the citizens are calm? Or if it is for generating infrastructure revenue, is it for projects that will generate revenue for the state? Because if they are generating revenue for the state,
2020.
7. Exactly. You know, everything everything that happens now, we have to point it towards 2027 because that is basically
EFCC,
what it
this
is
is
saying.
where EFCC should come. All this one there, the EFCC should come and investigate. Okay, you collected 800 billion. Jesus. 800 billion.
No,
come
it's the one that is passed from administration to administration. You say
come and tell us
totally,
the one that the one that Autumn collected. Show us what you did with it. If one kobo is not there, we have space in Koji. If you that is borrowing now, if you are done, if the money does not tally, if there's no balance equation, we still have another room in Koji.
Hope they will not pardon this.
You see another angle that I should look at. So at this point, FCC should come through here. We don't want all this. The people of Benue are already suffering. They're having crisis. They're already having enough crisis. Do not come and add to their problem.
No use us to go and buy more cars.
And 2027 is coming. Please use your own money. I beg.
Yeah. Well, that is all for Benue State. I'm moving to our final story. Keeping up, should I say keeping up with the TINUBU family? Because, you know, just a month or 2 months ago...
At this point, it's a reality show. It's a reality show at this point.
A month or 2 months ago, we remember when the First Lady was celebrating her birthday, which, again, came with a lot of, you know, uproar and, you know, outcry from the citizens, when the president said that the citizens owe her a lot for supporting him. I don't know if it is the country she supported that we are owing her for, or it is for his own support.
I don't know if their family actually just liked to be in the trend. Like, they just like to trend. We saw the daughter
last week.
And then she was trending as the Iyaloja general. I just feel like they just want to trend for some reason.
So basically, we have
up with
the president trending, the first lady trending, the first daughter trending, and now the first son. The story here says that the friends of Sheyi Tinubu launched a 1 million Bible project to celebrate Sheyi Tinubu at 40. So, you know, and let me just give you a quick reference as to when Hilda Basi did her, you know, cookathon of jollof rice, where she fed a lot of people. This was just a cookathon. We saw how her own personal project, for her own fame, her own glory, was able to still give back to the society in its own way, because she fed a lot of people with that food. But then now that it's coming to the first son of the president, all his friends could think about from what is going on in the country is that what these people need is more Bibles. We need 1 million people to hold more Bibles. Has the Bible gone extinct, or is the Bible that scarce for
we
the
have
people
Bible
to need
apps
that?
right now. I have over 40 different translations on my phone. So I really don't think that is basically something he should be sharing in a digital age like this. We've moved past paper Bibles and everything. I understand the whole symbolic relics to it, but we're in a digital age right now. And I think that is not what the people need right now. You're trying to do something for the people. If I want to give you a gift, wouldn't I give you something such as you would like, and something that you would appreciate me for? If I come and give you yam porridge and you don't like yam porridge, but I like yam porridge, but I expect you to appreciate it just because I like it, how would you feel? It is more like a wasted effort at the end of the day. You may have spent 1 million into purchasing that porridge. But because I don't like it, it's just not going to be, right? And that's basically what he's trying to do. I mean, we're in a mixed society. We have people of different faith. We have the Christians, the Muslims, we have the traditionalists as well. So him doing that, is he going on evangelism? If he's evangelizing, let us be sure about it. But if you are
Tinubu to his name.
Do you understand? If it is on evangelism, I have no problem with that. But if it is a way to give back to the Nigerian community, the Nigerian populace, I feel he has missed his mark.
And on my own point, honestly, we're in a society where there are environments where they can't even access proper clean water. If you want to do something like this, at least there are villages that up till now they cannot access clean water. You should create a project of creating boreholes, making boreholes for them, even if it's that pumping one. There are a lot. There are people there are schools that you can use that money, because we are going to roughly calculate 2,000 times 1 million.
About 2 billion.
That's about 2 billion. A single Bible sells for around 2,000 naira.
Yes.
So I think 2 billion would go far to renovate a lot of classrooms. It will create a lot of waterways for a lot of boreholes for people, rather than giving people Bible. Nevertheless, I'll still wish you happy birthday. 40 is a long way. I hope to reach 40.
Okay, but before he concludes, you know, remember he used to be called the youth, but I believe 40 is no longer used.
Now,
part of the friends, you know, that constructed this project includes the APC youth, which is very sad. The national youth leader of the APC, the director general of small and medium enterprises, were part of the friends in quotes, that pushed for this project for his birthday. And you wonder,
quote-unquote, Nigerian funds.
Youth, are you using taxpayers' money to carry a project?
So is it what you actually believe the youth need? And also the small and medium enterprises director, is this what you think the people need at this point? Even though a birthday is a personal thing, but since they have decided to make it a public and include all of us, you know, in their celebrations, I believe it is our right to criticize their actions.
You can celebrate your friend, but do not use taxpayers' money.
Exactly.
Honestly.
Exactly. This is nothing but political money.
We just hope it is not taxpayers' money. Feel free to do whatever you want.
People are already in hardship enough. Use your own personal money. Do not carry our resources. If you want to do something for him, then you can. There are youths that cannot still pay school fees, cannot even access the student loans. You can give people stipends, 20,000, 25. People, the youths, you can go to schools. You can. There are people who cannot even afford sanitary pads. All these are projects, not using our money to come and pay for Bible.
To really symbolize.
But honestly, 40 is a very long way, and we all hope to reach 40 one day. Now you are not more a youth, you are Egbon. Now it's Egbon. You are now into the Egbon list. Now you are a senior brother. Happy birthday, our first son. Our father's first son. At this point. So happy birthday. But please give them good advice. Honestly, taxpayers' money is not the way forward. At this point, this is the end of our story at the morning break. I hope you be with us next time. And I am Mohammed Kabir.
And I am Barry to the world.
And I am Abbas Muhammad. Stay tuned.